making the Wild West a safer place to be.
Nicknamed the Duke, John Wayne's career spanned over 50 years. He made his last public appearance at the Oscars in April of 1979. By June of that year, he was dead. Yet such was his charisma in life that rumors persist his spirit still lives on after death.
We're going to investigate the alleged sightings of his ghost, from the calm waters of Newport Beach to the dusty landscapes of the world's most famous cowboy town. If John Wayne's spirit is still around, we aim to find the proof.
But would it be the location where we would find John Wayne's ghost?
Now, we've got an enormous amount of stuff to fit in over the weekend, so I thought what the best thing to do is split everything over the 2 days and visit the most famous places in daylight and then return to them in the night time.
Okay.
And I think the best place for us to start would be here.
The Beaufort Bed and Breakfast was built in 1880 and is named after George Beaufort, a prominent mine owner. The house has been home to 2 sheriffs, a mayor, a state senator, and the Duke himself. The owners now are the Allens, and they tell of hauntings that extend as far back as the opening of the home in the late 1880s. Could one of these ghosts be John Wayne?
What is John Wayne's association with this place?
In the 30s and 40s, a gentleman named Mr. Brownsy owned the house, and he was Mr. Tombstone. He was the mayor, the fire chief, the sheriff, and he would carry John Wayne around to the different bars in town and make sure that he got home safely. Part of getting home safely would mean possibly drinking beers on the front porch.
The whole house is reported to be haunted, but in particular, the guest bedroom.
Now, this is the wicker room, and this is the room that we have the lights and the very vivid dreams in.
Are the dreams similar? Are they related?
They are. When we talk about what happens in the room at the breakfast table, they're kind of consistent that there's an older woman in the room, either sitting or is somewhere in the dream, and she's explaining to the people that this is my room, you need to leave. We had 2 young women staying in this room about 5 years ago, and they didn't show up for breakfast, so we came into the room, and all the bedclothes were all over the room. They left a note. We had to leave because we witnessed the unexplained. We did not want to leave your front door unlocked. We will return your key tomorrow before 12 noon.
Did they?
They did. They said they had been laying in the bed and they felt as though the covers were being pressed down around them and were smothering them.
That's weird.
Definitely interesting. I mean, I'd like to see what happens in this room. Can I spend the night here?
You may.
I was just going to suggest that.
The house is yours.
The next stage of the investigation was the historic Boot Hill Cemetery.
Boot Hill Cemetery was first called the City Cemetery. It was founded and opened for business in 1878. Now, the graves are strange looking because they all have rocks piled on them. There's a purpose for that. All of these graves are dug in a spot where about 2 feet down you run into caliche. Caliche is a hardened mud that's like concrete. You have to have a drill to get through it. So when they dug down to that, they placed the body on the caliche, covered it up, and put the rocks on the graves to keep wild animals from digging it up.
Nestled on the side of the hill overlooking Tombstone, Boot Hill Cemetery is known to hold some of the baddest gunslingers in town and was regularly visited by John Wayne himself. I went to check it out to see if any paranormal activity had been reported.
Well, the graveyards in the Old West that acquired the names Boot Hill were because predominantly, not totally, but predominantly the people buried them died with their boots on. We have people that were shot, killed, murdered, hung, suicides, and we have quite a bit of the large pioneer family called the Unknown.
The Unknown, yes, I noticed.
And their bodies were found, they were unknown. And what they would do is they would place them in a coffin and put them on display in the window at the funeral parlor.
No, to see if
Yes.
anyone would recognize them.
Well, every day the people would go by on the way to the post office and look in to see if they could recognize the man that was found in the streets at Tombstone the night before.
And do you have any kind of paranormal experiences here at all?
Mostly what they are is captured on camera. And it mostly happens, like if you take a picture, say, of this marker here, and the sun is not shining on it, it's wooden, and there's really nothing to flash back. But they'll take a picture, and there will be like a haze that might appear, a shine, or there will be a gray matter picture in itself here.
Paula Jean has photographic evidence which shows this mysterious light bouncing off a gravestone. Plus, she's been sent pictures from visitors which appear to show strange, ghostly figures in the background and between headstones.
Went to the graveyard, which is amazing, and John Wayne did go there.
Really?
Best of all, I've managed to arrange for us to go back tonight to do a spooky graveyard walk.
We've
never done that before.
No.
I know, we've never done that before.
I'm excited.
I know.
The evening drew in quickly. Suddenly, Tombstone had gone from a bustling tourist attraction to a place of loneliness and isolation. We prepared to take our investigation to the place where so many souls were laid to rest. But would they be in peace?
So is there any part that you think is more active than others?
Over on the end there, and down in the bottom, and over in that back section, I think is where most of our pictures that we received, the activity has been.
So why don't we head that way? It's really dark.
Over here, I'm getting something right now.
Where John Wayne stayed, but also a place known to be very active.
Ready for a good night? Good night.
The following morning, I met up with Chris to see how his night had panned out.
You look tired. Is it okay?
Exhausted.
Are you? What happened?
Well, first off, when I walked around upstairs, I went in a couple of different rooms. I felt like someone was watching me. And I'm sitting here on the bed. I started feeling something right behind me. Directly behind me. About this room. I did not sense John at all.
Okay, so you didn't do it last night, and we didn't do it at the cemetery. We didn't sense John.
No.
So our investigation had to continue. We'd established the fact that Tombstone was haunted and we'd already encountered unexplained activity. But apparently, there was one place in Tombstone that we had to visit, the most haunted location of them all, the Birdcage Theatre.
Now, this place used to be the brothel and a speakeasy, but when John Wayne would have visited it, it would have turned into a museum by then. But it's very, very active, apparently.
All the locals have been telling me since we've been here that this is the most haunted place in Tombstone. Now, we're hoping to find John Wayne's spirit here, but if we don't, there's a lot of bad spirits here.
No.
So maybe we'll get something.
We don't do bad spirits.
I know, but
I
hey,
want
we
to do
gotta
good
check it out.
spirits.
The Birdcage Theatre has allegedly had so much activity that it seems something happens every day. Apparently, there are cold spots when walking through the theatre. Music will occasionally play for no reason. Chairs will move across the floor, lights will flicker on and off, and people have complained of being pushed, poked, or having their hair pulled. To give us a tour was owner Bill Hunley.
And this was the gambling casino where years ago the high rollers gambled from the dice, the blackjack, the faro, and the roulette tables.
What are these bits here?
These were the bird cages. These were the little loaches where the ladies of the night plied their trade. They would pull the drapes. One of the paranormal things that happened upstairs was when we first put the mannequins in, they kept moving around, or we'd find them off on the floor, a couple of them. This dice table has a slate top. It weighs about 800 pounds.
It's heavy.
And one morning it was found, when they opened the building, they couldn't get this door open. And this dice table was wedged against that door. Now, it will not fit. It will not fit through that aisle, so it had to levitate over the billiard table here and was wedged against the door. We've since moved the glass case in there. It took 6 men to put this table back where it is.
Is there much activity in this room?
There's been quite a bit of activity over in this corner.
Here?
Yes, the story goes that there was a girl murdered backstage here, and there's been several visual sightings of a face. Many photographs have been shot by different people visiting the building.
Whilst we were setting up for the investigation, Chris took some photos. This one reveals what appears to be the image of a girl's face. Had we caught on camera a picture of a ghost? Chris was starting to sense the activity in this place.
There's so much going on. You know, ever since we walked in here, there was someone coming from behind us. There's someone going this way. I'm feeling someone stand behind me. I see someone in the corner of my eye go over there, like shadows, figures. And then I feel drops in pressure, which means that they're moving right up to me. So if you see me just kind of freaking out and being distracted, it's because something's going on.
I understand.
All right? Okay, just wanted to get that out. All right.
It is reported by psychics who have investigated this location that there are 28 ghosts who call the birdcage home.
There's something back there right now.
Little did we know that after dark, their presence would be made physically clear. Morning came, and it was time for us to leave Tombstone and to decide where our investigation went from here.
I've been reading up on John Wayne, finding out more about him, and I know that he's got a boat in Los Angeles that was practically his second home. So I'm thinking the next best thing for us to do is get on a plane, go to Los Angeles, and check out the boat.
So we boarded the plane and headed towards the blue coast of California. A short road trip later, and we were on our way to John Wayne's luxury 140-foot converted minesweeper, the Wild Goose.
We know there's a lot of ghost-like